If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. History of the Gambia. The West African country of the Gambia is the smallest country in mainland Africa. It is entirely surrounded by Senegal, except for its western coast, which is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean. The River Gambia, after which the country is named, flows through the center of the country. Banjul is the nation's capital city. The country's population in 2018 was only approximately 2.28 million. Different ethnic groups live in the Gambia, the largest being the Mandinka, followed by the Fula. Others are Wolof, Jola, and Dahanka. The Creole or Akus are the smallest group. They are descendants of Creoles from Sierra Leone. Most Gambians are bilingual, speaking English, which is the official language and one of the many indigenous languages. It is also not uncommon to find Gambians who speak French. A few thousand non-Africans live in the country, mostly British and Lebanese. Islam is the most practiced religion in the Gambia, with about 95% of the population being Muslims. Christians make up about 4% of the population. Early written accounts of the region came from records of Arab traders in the 9th and 10th centuries AD. From those accounts, the region was under the control of the Mali and Songhai empires at different times. The Mali Empire, under the rule of the Mandinka king Mansa Musa, brought great security, stability, and fame to the region. The prevailing civil law enforced in the region was according to the Kurukan Fuga, which was Mali's constitution. When Bin Battuta, the North African scholar and traveler, visited the region in 1352, he wrote this about the inhabitants. The Negroes possess some admirable qualities. They are seldom unjust and have a greater abhorrence of injustice than any other people. There is complete security in their country. Neither traveler nor inhabitant in it has anything to fear from robbers or men of violence. In the 16th century, it was the Songhai Empire, named after the Songhai people, that dominated the region. But in the late 19th century, the Gambia became a British crown colony called British Gambia. For administrative purposes, it was divided into the colony, that is, city of Banjul and the surrounding area, and the protectorate, that is, the remainder of the territory. After World War II, constitutional reforms began towards self-government, and following general elections in 1962, the British in 1963 granted full internal self-governance to the colony. The Gambia gained full independence on the 18th of February 1965 as a constitutional monarchy with Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara as Prime Minister. Not long after independence, a referendum was held to decide if the nation should become a republic, but it did not get the required two-thirds majority vote needed to amend the constitution. When a second referendum was held on the 24th of April 1970, the required votes were garnered and the Gambia became a republic with Prime Minister Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara assuming the office of president. President Sir Dawda Jawara got re-elected 5 times. While on a visit to Britain, a coup to unseat Jawara was attempted on the 29th of July 1981. Jawara turned to Senegal for help, and with Senegalese soldiers, the rebels were defeated 2 days later. About 800 people lost their lives during the violence from the coup. In 1982, Senegal and the Gambia signed a confederation treaty and became the Senegambia Confederation. However, the Gambia pulled out of the treaty 7 years later in 1989. After 8 years as Prime Minister, that is from 1962 to 1970, and 24 years as President, Jawara was deposed in 1994 by the Armed Forces Provisional Ruling Council (AFPRC). Political activities were also banned, and Yahya Jammeh, chairman of the AFPRC, became head of state. He was only 29 at the time. Elections were organized in 1996. Jammeh emerged the winner. He was re-elected in 2001, 2006, and 2011. His party, Alliance for Patriotic Reorientation and Construction, APRC, maintained its strong majority in the National Assembly. On the 2nd of October 2013, Jammeh's government cancelled the membership of the Gambia from the Commonwealth after being a member of the organization for 48 years. The Gambian government said the Commonwealth was a neo-colonial institution and the country would not be associated with such. In 2016, opposition parties formed a coalition and their candidate Adama Barrow defeated Jammeh in the December 1st presidential elections. Jammeh initially agreed to step down, but later changed his mind and declared the results void. This led to a constitutional crisis, and the Gambia was invaded by an ECOWAS coalition. Jammeh gave in to pressure, and on the 20th of January 2017, he announced that he would step down and leave the country. When Adama Barrow assumed leadership of the country, the Gambia commenced the process of returning to the Commonwealth, and on the 8th of February 2018, it officially rejoined the organization. The divisions of the Gambian nation were established by the Independent Electoral Commission in accordance to Article 192 of the National Constitution. The country is divided into 8 local government areas, including the national capital, Banjul, which is categorized as a city. Their economy is liberal and market-based, characterized by traditional agriculture. Agriculture makes up to approximately 30% of the nation's GDP and employs 70% of its labor. Groundnut production, fishing, livestock and forestry are important revenue sources for the country. The Gambia also has a thriving tourism sector. The World Bank pegged the nation's GDP for 2018 at $1.624 billion. The most popular sport in Gambia is wrestling. It is considered a national sport. Football is also very popular in the country. Although the country is yet to qualify for a FIFA World Cup or African Cup of Nations final, the country has won 2 CAF Under-17 championships in 2005 when they hosted, and 2009 in Algeria. Those 2 wins gave them qualifications for the FIFA Under-17 World Cups in Peru and Nigeria respectively. The capital city, Banjul, Abuko Nature Reserve, the Bijilo Forest Park just outside of Banjul are some